everyone, I hope everyone's keeping well. Welcome back to another Retro Fridays. I just wanted to firstly thank everyone for the massive support that last week's Retro Friday got. Last week I actually teamed up with another YouTuber, Jerry, and her YouTube channel is Jerry G Reviews. And if you missed it, we both actually talked about the first two Terminator movies, so what a cool topic that was. And if you missed that one, I will actually link that down in the pinned comment along with Jerry's YouTube channel, because since last week was so much fun and it went so well, I asked Jerry to come on again here today, and we have both picked a sci-fi movie that we really love, an old retro sci-fi film. So in a moment, I am going to be handing you over to the lovely Jerry, and then after that, after she talks about the awesome sci-fi pick that she picked, it was an awesome one, I will be talking about the movie The Fifth Element. So I'm going to now hand you over to Jerry.
Hi guys, and it's me again, Gergie Reviews, here on Julie's channel. I'm very happy to be a part of this collab once again on those awesome sci-fi Fridays, you can say. Well, this sci-fi topic this time is a very awesome one. So I decided to talk about The Matrix, guys, because The Matrix, for me at least, is like the movie that comes to mind immediately. And if I have to think about the movie that is now a sci-fi and it's already 20 years old, which I have no idea how that happened, but it happened, it's going to be The Matrix. And The Matrix, guys, did create a massive splash, did create, you can say, a revolution in the cinema. Special effects were invented, created for this movie. Amazing camera effects, amazing camera techniques were developed. So all that we see in The Matrix could be possible. But of course, it's not only the special effects, it's not only the visuals overall, but it's in fact the story and what the story of The Matrix presented to us. It was a new concept, or at least it was a concept that was presented in a way that I don't think we ever seen before. And to this day, a lot of people try to dissect it, to think about it, to think on it. And there's some really interesting theories online, and there's also some spiritual movements that deal with the dissecting of the story of the Matrix and what are the potential layers to it that could be interpreted in a lot of other deeper ways that you may not know or you may not have thought about. But The Matrix, guys, of course, actually is not what it seems to be. It's much more deeper, even if you don't get as deep as some people like to go on. There's so many things that you can think about. There's so many things that to this day are absolutely relevant in terms of how we live, how we go through our days, how we go through the motions. People go to work, do some stuff that could be considered like mechanical even. I mean, mechanical in the way that they're repetitive. And people just get used to that type of life and they don't think about maybe the bigger stuff or what could be happening or actually happening in the world. Now people are more aware of different stuff, but let's say that The Matrix also represents metaphors for other choices that you can do in life. The blue and the red pill now are literally stuff that every day are used as expressions by different type of people to represent an idea, whether or not you choose the blue or the red pill. So it's very interesting, and the impact of The Matrix to this day is something that is absolutely incredible, and I had not seen such precedent thus far, at least not the same as The Matrix had, on how our whole way of thinking society and how the movies also were developed from that point on. Now, The Matrix, guys, gave us also two other movies. I'm not going to talk about the two other movies because they're not, the first Matrix. I'm just gonna say that the second Matrix is actually my favorite one. The third, not that much, but the second is my favorite one. Is the one that contains more action and more cool special effects and more fighting and all of that, and is where a lot of other cool special effects were developed. But the Matrix 1, of course, is the one that built the layers of it, is the original and what blew our minds initially. And of course, we have Keanu Reeves in this role that forever is going to remain one of his most iconic. But little did we know that the man is going to still make extremely awesome headlines, and he continues to do so. He's going to be in the upcoming game Cyberpunk that is made by the people that made The Witcher, Carrie-Anne Moss and Hugo Weaving. Such an amazing actors that are very active. You can see Carrie-Anne Moss in Jessica Jones. You can also see now on IMDb she is actually filming The Matrix 4, and once again she is playing Trinity. So that's amazing. I just checked IMDb to see that. So guys, for the upcoming Matrix, I have no idea what they're going to come up with, but I'm excited. The point is now, guys, for this movie that it was awesome. It was a classical movie. There's only one scene that I don't really like, and I remembered when I was a child that I didn't like that scene. And that was the scene where Neo goes just to look at the Matrix just casually, and he was talking to that guy with the mustache there that turned out to be the bad guy, and he was talking to him about the Matrix and how all the numbers and all the symbols just passing, like going down, all of that. And it was one of the most boring things I ever seen in cinema. So I was bored out of my mind just on that particular scene. It was so slow, it was without music, nothing was happening. I didn't think that it was very relevant to what was going on through the rest of the movie. It was just like a fluff, so to speak. But other than that, this movie is amazing and it has a lot more to think about in it. It has a lot more substance and you can still think on it, recycle it, break it down and find something for yourself to really dig in mentally in it and to still enjoy it. So guys, you tell me, what do you think about The Matrix? Is it not one of the best sci-fi movies ever created? One that made movie history? One that forever will remain in our minds and in our hearts? And are you excited about The Matrix 4 that's supposed to be coming in 2021 now because of the situation that we are in? I'm not sure that's gonna happen, but still, I'm going to be excited for this movie and I hope that whatever it is, they're gonna make it good. So let me know what you think in the comments. Julie, take it away. Thank you guys.
Thanks, Jerry. So I'm now going to be talking about the movie The Fifth Element. This is such a fantastic sci-fi movie. The visuals are absolutely top notch in my opinion, and to me visually still very much so stands up today. I still watch this movie a lot. I still really thoroughly enjoy it. I watched this from I was really young, and this movie was so bold and really did stand out to me, and it was directed by Luc Besson. And what's very interesting about that, guys, is has any of you seen the movie called Leon? Now, it actually stars Natalie Portman, and if you haven't seen it, oh my, you are not half in for a treat. She's really young in it, and anyways, just watch it if you haven't seen it. He also worked on the awesome sci-fi movie Valerian. I absolutely thought that movie was really fantastic. I know it wasn't for everybody, but I really enjoyed it. Luc Besson, he actually worked on Leon because for this movie, The Fifth Element, he wanted to make it really brilliantly visually. But the computers that they wanted to use to enable them to do that wouldn't be ready for about a year or so. So he then went and worked on the project Leon. And Gary Oldman is actually in that, who of course is the main lead antagonist in The Fifth Element. And the thing about this movie is it just really massively was just really out there and so different. And the most fascinating part about this is the director Luc Besson wrote pretty much the whole world of The Fifth Element and the whole idea, the whole concept, this whole world he done when he was a child. He actually just had a very, lonely childhood, and he wrote pretty much everything as he was growing up as a child, and that's how he spent his time. And I just find that super fascinating. But there was so much. It was like over 400 pages, and they had to really obviously condense that in order for it to work on screen. And it actually took 9 years. Like, wow, that is amazing determination. It took 9 years for that to actually happen, for The Fifth Element to be handed out to the world, to all of us on screen. And Mila Jovovich, hard name to pronounce, she was absolutely phenomenal in this movie, and she was actually chosen from 5,000 other women that were actually auditioned for this. And I think the main thing, the reason why I think this movie worked so well, not only did it have a fantastic concept, you know, the whole world building in this was just phenomenal, and it looked fantastic, and the whole idea of this whole futuristic world. But I think it was because of how brilliantly it was casted. I mean, you have to think about it. We had the awesome Bruce Willis. I mean, come on. Die Hard. The Sixth Sense, actually, if you haven't seen that, definitely see it. It is just one of those movies that you have to see in your lifetime kind of day. Of Gary Oldman, as I said, who plays the main antagonist, Sorg, which I'll talk about later. We also have, of course, Milla Jovovich, and it's hilarious when you watch her in Zoolander, knowing that she's, of course, Lulu, and of course Resident Evil, fantastic films as well. We also had Chris Evans, and if you're unfamiliar with him, he's actually a stand-up comedian. And we also had the comedy genius Chris Tucker. And when you think about it, when you see this kind of a sci-fi script and someone be like, oh, we're going to cast Chris Tucker, I would probably actually have went, no, dude, I don't think that's going to work. But you know what? It shouldn't have worked, but it did work, guys. And I think that he added such hilarity to this movie. I mean, he was just so out there. He was kind of like a cross between Michael Jackson and Prince, which are my two all-time favourite singers in the whole entire world. But interestingly, Prince, I know this because I'm like the biggest fan of Prince ever. He was actually originally meant to be playing, they wanted him to play his role, and I'm kind of glad that that didn't happen, because I don't think Prince would have suited it as much as I love Prince. But I think that Chris Tucker did this role so well, and I loved all his mad crazy costumes and everything. The most memorable moment of this movie, and the most classic one, is, from what I even remember as well from first watching it when I was a lot younger, was when Lily is in the air and she's jumping, and how that's shot, and it sort of does like a slow-mo sort of a shot, and she sort of like turns a bit and then falls down onto Corbin's cab, because of course he's a cab driver in this movie. I thought that scene, just how it was shot, was absolutely fantastic. You really straight away feel for her character, because you even just see the desperation in her face in the cab with Corbin, and she's just like, please, you know, like she's looking for help. And those two characters together, the deep connection that they had was unbelievable. I thought acting wise, Milla and Bruce Willis really suited working together really, really well. They did, hats off, they did a top-notch job, and you could tell from the get-go that he really did fall for her and he really loved her. And I thought that that whole sweetness of those two together was just so cute and adorable. And also, I loved the moment when he thought he could be a bit of a chancer and went in to try and kiss her, and she just pulled the gun on him. That part was absolutely hilarious. But yeah, I really felt a strong connection toward her character. I felt sorry for her. Another brilliant scene of her would be when she's breaking the glass, when she broke the glass. I thought that was so cool. And also, I don't think it was a coincidence, but the whole bright fluorescent orange themes that were going on within this movie, I really loved the whole colouring throughout it. Of course, you had Milla, her hair was bright fluorescent orange. Bruce Willis, his vest was bright fluorescent orange. You know, it was obviously they'd done that on purpose. I thought it blended in really well, you know, because the two of them had this sweet relationship and they had the same colours going on. And then of course, you know, her, like the rubber part of her outfit towards the end when she's, you know, kicking butt. I thought that was absolutely fantastic, how they blended all the bright oranges and stuff in as well. And it is a really bright, outstanding movie. You know, the whole color schemes and everything that are being made, it is a very bold statement movie, and that's what I absolutely love about it, and it works. A lot of people say that this movie kind of reminds them a lot, or that they really copied Star Wars or something along those lines. I don't think so. I do love Star Wars, and I love this movie, but I don't think that it was like it in any sort of way. And before I forget to mention, I cannot not mention the actor Ian Holm, who played Fido Cornelius, and of course he's in the awesome sci-fi legendary classic movie called Alien, and he was brilliant in this, and he's basically, of course, the guarder of the five elements, and obviously, of course, Lulu is the embodiment of the fifth element, hence the whole point in the movie, the fifth element. Personally, I think the reason why this movie done so well really was the cast, and Gary Oldman, who played Sorg in this, and he had this like little creature on his desk and everything, like it was obviously a puppet, you know, so that would have had to been done with puppetry. It was so weird and so odd, and his character, all I'll just say is, oh my gosh, that accent. And he even said in an interview that he kind of was like a Bugs Bunny kind of a sounding character, but I thought his character was very, very daring and very, very bold. I think it did work, but I think it was a big risk that the director took for this movie. He also felt the same way himself, but I just think it was very daring. It worked for me as an overall kind of deal, but yes, he was a very out there sort of character, but it worked, and I think Gary Oldman is fantastic. I just think he's really funny, and I love watching this and laughing at his accent. It's just so mad and just super, super out there. A really funny part is when he's choking and the creature on his desk is just sitting there laughing like, brilliant. I don't like him. The end scene I have to talk about because it is absolutely phenomenal. Diva dance scene. You will all know the scene that I'm talking about with the character Diva. And interestingly, that was actually filmed in the Opera House in London. And no one knew on the day that it was being filmed that that was going to happen. So the first time when the curtains get pulled up, and you know when Bruce Willis looks over at Diva, that was actually the first time that he actually seen her, because no one knew that she was going to be on stage and she was going to be singing. And obviously that is a massive classic famous scene, obviously probably the most known scene from this movie. And I don't know what you guys think about this, but I find this super weird. The director Luc Besson was actually married to the girl who actually done that part. She's obviously divorced now from him, but back then it was meant to be a model coming in from another country and playing her part, but then she didn't bother ringing to let them know she couldn't arrive. Nobody heard from her. And then what happened was he asked her last minute before rehearsals had started, it's too late for me to find another actor now, can you do the part? So I thought that was kind of weird but interesting at the same time. But yes, that scene is unbelievable. You know, you have her doing the opera singing, you know, the diva dance scene, and you have Lulu kicking Mangalore butt. Literally, she's doing backflips and everything. And my favorite part, honestly, from that whole end scene is when she does, you know, like backflip and everything, and then she does this stance, and then she's like that. I don't even know why I'm attempting it, because I'm not going to be able to do it like she does. But you know the part that I mean. And it's sort of almost like come on, let's go. I absolutely love it. She is so kick-ass in this movie. I thought she was a really bold, strong female character in this, and I think that she should be mentioned more as a strong character, because although, you know, you felt very sorry for her and you really connected to her character, I also feel that people are forgetting that she really is a strong character in this. She is a very, very important, obviously the most important thing in this entire movie, most important character. But I have to say, Milla Jovovich and Chris Tucker would probably be my two all-time favourites in this movie. Maybe I'm just being biased because I absolutely love Chris Tucker. Him hiding at the end, like, I don't want to die, is absolutely hilarious. So overall, I think it's such a funny movie at the same time, because you've got, you know, Chris Tucker and Chris Evans bringing a bit of humour into the movie. Then you've also got amazing visuals. You've this awesome sci-fi movie, brilliant cast, brilliant acting, and my gosh, the fact that this took 9 years to actually be on screen, I'm even more thankful for, because I'm the type of person, when I know how much work and how much sweat and soul and energy and time and effort that has went into a movie, that makes me just love it all the gosh darn more. So I just absolutely love this movie. I enjoy watching it still time and time again, and I have it on Blu-ray because I love it so much. So yes, honestly, this will always go down as an amazing sci-fi movie for me that you just cannot get bored of. And I want to now say thank you so much again, Jerry, for coming along and wanting to do this video with me. I really, really appreciate it, and I really have been enjoying the past couple of weeks having you on the channel doing Retro Fridays with me. So please guys, go and check out our channel. As I said earlier, it will be down in the pinned comment down in the comment section. I'm sure she would be more than happy. I know actually she'd be really happy to see you there over on her channel. Her channel is really unique. It is fantastic. So please do go and check it out if you get the chance. And from the both of us, myself and Jerry, take care, and we will see you both, sorry, what am I talking about? We will see you all down in the comment section. And if you have been here and you were able to catch it as a premiere, thank you to all of you for coming out and hanging out. We both really appreciate it. So from the both of us, take care. Bye guys.